In the land of Israel, a fragile peace shattered. Whispers turned to warnings as the Philistine army marched once more. At the helm of Israel's forces stood King Saul, the first to wear their crown. His soldiers roared his name, but a deep unease coiled in the king's gut, an unease that no applause could soothe. Among the Philistines was a shadow in the shape of a man, a giant they called Goliath. He strode before the battle lines, his presence shrinking the world around him. His voice, a trumpet of pure contempt, echoed across the valley, making even the bravest among the Israelites flinch. "Send a man to fight me," he bellowed each morning. "If he falls, all Israel will bow before me." Fear, cold and sharp, swept through the camp like a plague. Reinforcements were summoned, more men were called, but not one soul dared to step forward. Far from the front lines, in the quiet town of Bethlehem, lived an old man named Jesse. When the call to arms reached his home, his older sons lined up, their jaws set, ready for war. "My sons," Jesse said, his voice heavy with the weight of farewell, "remember that battles are won not just with strength, but with faith." David, the youngest, watched them go, a yearning to join them burning in his chest. But he was just a boy. His duty was to the sheep, to protect his family from the hills, with a silent promise in his heart. It was in those hills, under the vast, open sky, that David learned what courage truly meant. It wasn't in the clash of swords, but in the small, terrifying moments, driving away a bear that stalked a lamb, or facing down a lion that prowled the sheepfold. These weren't boasts. They were lessons carved into his very being. At night, with only the stars as his audience, David would sing, his voice rising into the darkness. Songs are born in the dark. He'd croon to his harp, "My heart trusts, by your hand. I am strong, in your grace I walk." One day, Jesse sent him to the camp with provisions for his brothers. What he found was an army paralyzed. He saw men with vacant eyes, their spirits already surrendered. And then he saw him. He saw Goliath, a figure more terrifying than any rumor could capture. "Who is this boy?" the soldiers whispered as David walked through the camp, his eyes wide but unafraid. His own brother, Eliab, scoffed, "Who do you think you are, coming here?" David's reply was simple, yet it carried the weight of the mountains he called home. "I haven't come for fame," he said, his voice clear and steady. "I have come because I see my people, God's people, terrified. I trust in the Lord. It was He who gave me the strength to face the lion and the bear. If He is with me, then I will fight." The words reached King Saul. He looked at this boy, this shepherd, and for the first time in days, a flicker of something, maybe hope, or perhaps just desperation, ignited in his weary eyes. "If what you say is true," Saul said, his voice raspy with the pain of a leader watching his nation tremble, "then go, and may God be with you." Goliath laughed. It was a sound like thunder rolling down a mountainside. He advanced, his iron armor clinking, his words sharp as daggers. "Do you come at me with sticks and stones? I will tear you apart, bone by bone, and feed you to the birds." David didn't answer with threats. He didn't wear the king's heavy, unfamiliar armor. Instead, he reached for what he knew. His hand closed around his simple sling. He walked to the stream bed and carefully selected 5 smooth stones. He remembered the sheepfold, the terror of the lion's roar, the shadow of the bear, and the songs of faith he sang in the dead of night. He took a deep breath. He fixed his gaze not on the giant's armor, not on his massive spear, but on the small, exposed patch of skin on his forehead. And he let the stone speak for him. The small rock sliced through the air, a perfect, whizzing arc. It found its mark. Goliath swayed, his eyes wide with disbelief. He fell. He felt as if the entire world had finally exhaled, and the ground trembled with the impact. The silence that followed was deafening, more profound than any battle cry. Then, as one, the Israelite army, jolted from their stupor, roared. It was a sound of disbelief, of relief, of victory. "Rise!" they cried. For Israel, the once invincible Philistines scrambled. Their courage broken, their giant hero laid low. In the midst of the chaos, David stood serene, his sling still in his hand. His eyes weren't filled with pride or glory, but with a quiet faith that had sought only to bring peace to his people. And so ended the day. A boy faced down a giant. David's name spread like wildfire, carried on the wind to every village and outpost, whispered in psalms sung at night. For some, it was a miracle. For others, it was proof that true courage and unwavering faith walk hand in hand. But this story, this victory, wasn't the end. It was just the beginning. The boy who learned to silence fear with a single stone would become a symbol, a reminder that true strength isn't measured by eyes or stature. It is found in the quiet faith that chooses to act when everyone else is frozen in. Fear. Courage is not the absence of fear. It's the choice to move forward even when fear is screaming in your ear. It is the belief that those who trust in something greater than themselves can make the impossible possible. So, let me ask you, what is your Goliath today? What giant stands in your path, mocking you, telling you to give up? Take that first step, no matter how small it seems. Victory begins the moment you decide to fight back. Leave a comment and tell us what part of this story inspired you the most. Like this video if you believe that faith can be stronger than fear. And don't forget to subscribe for more stories that lift the spirit. Remember, every giant can fall when you fight with your whole heart and trust in something bigger than yourself. Thank you for watching.